The newest season of Demon Slayer has just been jam-packed with moment after moment that I'm fucking locked in for, bro. It's time to turn up. Go jump that nigga. Go jump that nigga right now. Go jump that nigga. Get my nigga in there! Get my nigga in there! Yo! Crash out, just crash out! Crash out! Immediately! 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 And it seems as if the manga is finally starting to pick up and we're getting to the peak arc, the Infinity Castle arc, and man, it's the perfect time for me to talk about, in my opinion, the best Hashira. Now, we're gonna give a few honorable mentions, you feel me? First person I'm gonna give it up to as my favorite is Tengen, bro. His whole drip, his whole aesthetic is fire. And we're gonna go ahead and skip to the real reason outside of the fact that he's a sick ass pillar. He dual wields, he uses the breath of sound, you feel me? And he has insane drip. Outside of all those reasons, nigga got 3 bitches, bro. He got 3 bad things, 3 bad gal them on the nuts. Now listen, 2 balls, 3 mouths. Now, I'm not the best at math, but I think that he's doing better math than me and most people in that situation. You feel me? Now, on to the next honorable mention. I'm gonna go ahead and give it up to fucking Kyojuro. You feel me? Rengoku the GOAT. Obviously, we have to give it up to Kyojuro because he instilled something in Tanjiro that was gonna be in him from the beginning of the series all the way to the end. That nigga left a mark, so we have to give it up to him. Third honorable mention. Obviously, we're gonna give it up to Mitsuri. She adorable, I'm not gonna lie. She kind of cute though, I'm not gonna hold you. Believe me when I tell you. Believe me when I tell you. Believe me when I tell you, I would stretch her shit way better than these, bro. I would stretch out her shit. I'm a thigh guy, so I'm done. I'm cooked. You feel me? But it's the fact that she's flexible as fuck. Nigga, I'm pushing her shit back like these. Just like these. Fuck is you talking about, nigga? What? Nigga. Fuck is you? Fuck. I'm sniffing her box. But yeah, man, with those honorable mentions out of the way, there's a couple reasons why I fuck with Sanemi. For one, I'm gonna come out and say this, bro. Why everybody else in the Demon Slayer Corporation decided to say, okay, we're gonna let the demon into the corporation except for this one nigga. This nigga stood on business when he saw Nezuko and he said, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit, nigga. That's a demon. I'm killing that bitch and I'm killing that bitch right now. I'm not gonna lie. Oh fuck, that shit was savage, bro. That shit was crazy when I seen that the first time. So that's exhibit A. That's reason number 1 why he's my favorite amongst many others. Also, bro, Wind niggas is always just goated in any iteration of video games, in any iteration of media. The Wind niggas just always got it. What is it about the Wind niggas who just have the most aura, bro? You feel me? Like, Wind niggas just really have it. So that's also a reason. I am also a sucker for wind as an elemental ability, and when I knew that water and fire was in this shit, I was waiting for the wind nigga to pop up. And as soon as I seen that he was the wind nigga, I was like, yo, they did the wind element right. You feel me? Anyways, this video is gonna be broken up into, now that I'm done going off on my crazy tangent, I'm gonna give you the structure. part one of the video. Part one is going to be the beginning of, probably in my opinion, his best fight of the series, where we also actually get an introduction into some of his backstory as a character. So we're gonna get a little bit of his backstory, a little bit of his lore. We're also gonna get some good moments between him and his brother. And also during that fight, we get a bunch of moments that again solidify for me why he is the best Hashira. Wasting no time, it's part one. But boom, we're gonna start off at the beginning of chapter 166. We see Muichiro being pinned to a beam on the wall by Kokushibo, and they're having a conversation. And we actually find out that Muichiro is a descendant of Kokushibo. So he says, "A descendant of my own selves is something I never imagined. It moves my heart." And then Kokushibo goes on to say, "Yes, there is nothing to fear. If it's about your arm, you can grow it again once you become a demon. I am the only upper moon who can properly fight at this point, and I believe that man should also welcome you. Let me stop the bleeding. Humans are brittle, but if you die from losing too much blood, or if that man doesn't accept you and you die, then death is your fate. Thus, it means that you are a man who can only go so far." And while he's talking here, we see Genya sneaking around the corner with the fucking blick on. Oh my god, this nigga got a blick on him. And I'm not gonna hold you, this nigga got the blick straight out of fucking Boys in the Hood, or whatever that movie's called. The aura coming off Kokushibo is crazy. He's my favorite upper moon. And he like instant transmissions behind Genya and says, "Don't you think so as well?" As if to complete the statement that he was saying to Muichiro. This nigga instantly starts pissing on himself, rightfully so. And before he notices it, the arm holding the blink has been severed. I repeat, the arm holding the blink has been severed. So it's not looking too good for him. Muichiro screams out, "Genya!" And he tries his best to pull his Nichirin blade out of his chest, where he's been skewered to the wall. And he's trying his best to push himself off. And we see here Genya reaching for his own sword, and before bro even has a chance, Kokushibo takes another arm, and it's not looking too good. So he's screaming here, and then Kokushibo says, "I see. So you've been eating demons, huh?" And then just like that, he slices that nigga in half, clean in half. Oh my god. And then Muichiro saying to himself, "I can't pull it, shit, I can't pull it out." And then Kokushibo says, "Oh, aren't dead yet? Even though your torso has been sliced in half?" Around 300 years ago, there was a swordsman who ate demons just like you. He died when I sliced his body in half. So perhaps for you, it's your head. Then he says, "I have no reason to let a fake demon like you live." And then in his head, Genya's saying, "Crawl, put my arms back on, hurry." And here he comes, bro, here he comes. Before he has a chance to decapitate Genya, our boy drops in. Breath of wind, fourth form, rising dust storm. The wind that will rip off your fucking head pops in. Kokushibo backs up, gets some spacing, and he says, "The wind pillar?" Manai says, "You got that right. I am the wind that will rip your head off, bitch." Nigga. Let's fucking go. This is the energy that I'm talking about, man. Why this nigga's the GOAT, bro. So Genya looks at him and he says, "Anagi?" Sanemi says, "I'm serious, sir. You really are one pathetic little brother. Why do you think I went as far as killing our own mother? Because I wanted to protect you." So then we get a flashback of Sanemi, Genya, and what it looks like to be this little nigga Inosuke on the ground. We get Tanjiro saying, "I know the wind pillar is your brother and all, but about him, Genya, he got really mad about you joining the Demon Slayer Corps. But I didn't smell a tinge of hatred in him, so you don't need to be afraid of him. If you wanted to say something, go ahead, it should be fine, because Sanemi-san has loved you all this time." And then we get Sanemi saying to him, "You should have gotten goddamn married, had some goddamn kids, and lived until you became a goddamn old geezer. For all the times you couldn't do a thing for mom, and for all the times we couldn't do a thing for our little siblings, you should have made your goddamn wife and kids as happy as they would have been, because I would have made sure that no demon would be heading your way. And then Genya starts tearing up and he says, I'm sorry, Nichan, I'm so sorry. And then we get a moment of Kokushiba saying, Demon Slayer brothers, how nostalgic. Then bro says, how dare you dice my little brother up, you fuck-eyed bastard, you're dead. Dead. Unforgivable. And bro, when you see the expression on this nigga face, like Kokushibo releases some Breath of Moon stance slashes, to which Sanemi quickly slides underneath this nigga's legs, pause, and then Genya says below, he's going under his feet. So, and then bro, I'm telling you here, man, I love when you read a manga and the paneling is like you can damn near just picture the choreography. We see a clean shot of Kokushibo essentially ducking over or flipping over Genya's or Sanemi's first form, Dust Whirlwind, and we see the paneling here of the whirlwind animations with the wind going through. After that attack blows off, we get a panel of them clashing, and finally after this entire time, Sanemi has forced Kokushibo to finally fully draw his blade, and Muichiro says he drew his sword, and then Sanemi says, would you look at that? That's one fucking disgusting blade, am I right? So boom, wasting no time after that clash, into the next chapter, we get a nice little panel of Sanemi and the Lukodago, you know what I mean? Lukodago with the bro. And it's just a nice cute little panel, and it says a peaceful moment during a pause in the battle. And yeah man, that's just a nice little panel that we get there. And then right back to the action, we get a clashing scene right here, and it says Upper Moon 1 has finally unsheathed his sword. And then he says Breath of Moon 5th form, Cursed Vortex of the Ghostly Moon. And we get a panel here of him unleashing these slashes in a wide slashing arc, and Sanemi has to back up quick as shit. And then Sanemi says, you keep repeating those slashes even without swinging your blade. Before Sanemi is able to talk any more shit, we get a panel of Kokushibo closing the distance, and he's about to essentially drop what looks like a death blow here, but I guess Sanemi is able to parry that by dropping in Breath of Wind 3rd form, Tree Swing in the Mountain Rain. Tree Swing in the Mountain Air. Bro, these names are so fire for the breath styles. And then we get a panel of Kokushibo acknowledging his handiwork with the sword, saying, not bad. I see that your physical body and techniques are at their peaks. And then in his head, Sanemi saying to himself, I can't fucking stop getting goosebumps when seeing this guy's skill. Every one of his slashes is surrounded by these chaotic blades, and they're always changing in length and size. There's no set form. He says, I'm not surprised Toki's lost. I wanted to ward off his attack completely, but it's so strange and warped. If it wasn't for all the experience I have, I wouldn't be able to defend myself. And his speed. And then we get this sick ass panel of close-up of Kokushibo. Again, bro, aura incarnate with this nigga, bro. And we get him just inhaling as he's about to use a breath style, and then Sanemi acknowledges that, saying, plus this fucking guy is using breaths. A demon with unnaturally high regenerative and physical prowess is using fucking breaths, and his power and speed are still climbing up. Fun. This is so much fun, and this demon is worth killing. And we get this crazy panel of him doing this fucking insane smile. Then bro locks in and says, Breath of Wind 2nd form, Purifying Wind Claws, and he sends that shit at Kokushibo. And we get a panel of what looks like looks like almost his blade is getting cut, but he's able to parry that shit with his Breath of Moon breathing. But after that, we see Sanemi closing the distance. And then we get one of the hardest panels, and again, one of the panels where I was like, nah, bro, this nigga got it. We get a panel of him leaning back and ducking some Breath of Moon slashes and using his little brother's Nichiren blade with his fucking foot, trying to get a killing blow on this nigga's fucking head. What? Who's moving like this? Who the fuck is moving? Who? Tell me, nigga, and tell me now who's moving like this, okay? Anyways, Kokushibo is able to skillfully just kind of lean back and dodge that on some real clean, slick shit. Bro, this nigga's giving some Sasuke vibes, like he's getting some real Sasuke energy. I don't know, man. And then Genya says, my sword. He like, as if he's wondering, when the fuck did Aniki even get that shit? And then Kokushibo sends some Breath of Moon slashes, to which Sanemi parries that shit again. We're getting some more paneling of them squaring off here as we go through, and we just get some more clean shots of them going at it here, just unleashing straight chaos, straight fucking havoc. And then Kokushibo says, he's still keeping up with my technique. What a nostalgic feeling, so uplifting. Bro is talking like he hasn't faced a worthwhile opponent in ages. We get a panel of Sanemi just fucking going crazy, just like releasing a flurry of Breath of Wind slashes. And then Genya says, Shinizugawa, and then his brother is also screaming Aniki, Aniki. And it looks like he might be overexerting himself, because we do see that he's starting to bleed out of his nose. And then Aniki says, I can't even fucking blink. I was this close to dying because I barely messed up the tip of my swing. Kokushibo says, long ago it was the Sengoku era, and this was the way I write. How the Wind Pillar and I both improved our swordsmanship skills. As if recalling to himself that, you know, a move that he did when him and the Wind Pillar previously fought. And he fucking does that move and says, Breath of the Moon, 6th form. Solitary moon in the eternal night. Avicii. And we get a fire double spread panel of him unleashing these Breath of Moon slashes. And I'm not gonna lie, my nigga eat that shit. He fucking eats that shit, bro. And as we're scrolling through, we're seeing the aftermath of that blow, with all of the beams around them falling down. Genya knows it was a crazy hit, and he's screaming Aniki, Aniki. He's thinking to himself, what happened? Where is he? Shit, I can't even see the pillars. And first thing we see is a big pool of blood drop to his feet, and then we see the aftermath of that breath style that Kokushibo has unleashed, and my nigga is looking rough. He's releasing some real raggedy breaths here, and Kokushibo says, you held out for quite some time up to this point, but if you move, your organs will spill out. And then for some reason, Kokushibo starts to hear Elden Ring boss music, you feel me? And he says, my pulse is increasing. What? And then Sanemi says, rare blood for demons is like silver fine powder for cats. And then he closes the distance with a Breath of Wind style, and he then goes on to say, demons get drunk once they get a whiff of my blood, and this blood's the rarest of the rare, one of a kind shit. So I think what Sanemi is essentially saying is that nigga probably got O negative, you feel me? And then he says, well buddy, what's the problem? You're staggering there. Looks like my goddamn blood even works on upper wounds. Now, and then he says, we get a panel of him saying, now have a fucking feast. So fuck, I'm not gonna waste any time here. So boom, next chapter, chapter 168, we're then getting a backstory, finally getting the backstory for Sanemi. And it starts off by saying the secret of Shinizugawa Sanemi, the Wind Pillar. He says, I realized that my blood was special right after I began hunting demons. After my mom turned into a demon, her movements became duller when my blood spilled, and after I killed her. My eyes stopped seeing colors. Everything in the world looked worn out and faded. That made night a huge struggle. I had no idea about nitrine blades or demon hunters. I just armed myself with mountains of weapons. Then I fought demons, captured them, and burned them under the sun. I'm not gonna lie, isn't that the hardest shit? Isn't that just like this nigga was on some real like, what? And he says, now that I think about it, it was an extremely suicidal plan. The only reason I didn't die were because of demons getting drunk off my blood and very good luck. Then I met a demon hunter who was chasing the same demon as me. I only reached this point because Kumeno Masachiki introduced me to a cultivator. But I knew virtuous humans will die one after another. It's the insanity of this world. So even though I defeated Lower Moon 1 with Masachiki, I was the only one who became a pillar. We get a panel back to the fight here, and we see him sending a breath of wind 6th form, black smoke storm towards Kokushibo. Kokushibo says, "This boy can still move despite his wounds. If this was any of the other pillars I had fought before, the battle would be over by now. But this one stops his bleeding on his own. Did he solidify his blood with his Did he solidify his own blood with his breaths? Is he stopping his own organs from spilling out by squeezing his muscles?" Bro, see, I'm not gonna lie, and this is the thing. Yes, when you are a human fighting a demon, you have to go up against their abilities, but bro, these motherfuckers can breathe and they can damn near do anything, except for the fact that they're probably gonna die after. Then Kokushibo says, "In any case, this is no feat any ordinary human can do. I've never seen this music." Get a panel of them clashing back and forth out with their breathing styles. He says, "How long have I been feeling intoxicated? Pleasant, with a rare blood too." And then we get one of the most fire panels here of Kokushibo doing that Sekiro parry where he steps on the blade, and after that parry and what looks like it's about to be a killing blow, we actually get a flashback to Sanemi meeting Ubuyashiki for the first time. And then we get him saying, "It drives me insane. People are suffering out there, yet some guys can just smile. They don't get their hands dirty, don't put their lives at risk, and give commands with a cool face from the top of a platform." Then he says, "You sure are high and mighty, right, bitch?" Nigga, I'll tell you, this nigga's my favorite. He's the goated. You can't tell me he's not the best. He says, "You sure are high and mighty, right, bitch?" Or should I say Oyakata-sama? And then everybody just looks at him like, what did this new nigga say? Nigga, you been here for 3 days. Gyome damn near cracks his prayer beads, and then he says, "Shinizugawa, it seems you do not know how to address people." And then Ubuyashiki said, "It's fine, Gyome, let him talk, I really don't mind." And then we get a panel of Kane saying, "Oyakata-sama." And then he says, "But don't worry, Kane, let him talk." Then my boy Sanemi continues to say, "You are way too obvious. This is all a retarded clown farce. You only see your fucking fighters as disposable pawns, don't you? You don't even understand a single bit of swordsmanship, I can tell at a glance. And this guy's the leader of the demon hunters? Absolutely disgusting. Come the fuck on, people." Then Ubuyashiki just says, "I'm sorry. I've tried swinging a sword before, but I couldn't even do it 10 times before my pulse went out of control. If it was possible, I wanted to be like all of you, a strong swordsman who can protect people's lives with my own body. But it was just impossible. So forgive me for making you go through all that pain." And then Sanemi says, "I was just at a loss for words. Oyakata-sama's gaze reminded me of my mom's. It felt like he put his hand on my cheek softly, with an overflowing love that a parent has for their child." And then Ubuyashiki continues to say, "If you were all disposable pawns, then I would be one as well. I am nothing but a pawn who moves a demon hunter, so even if I die, nothing will change. I already have my successor. This is your first time at a pillar meeting, Sanemi, so I think you just had a misunderstanding. But I'm not high and mighty at all. Everyone only treats me that way out of good intentions. But if you don't like me, then you don't have to do the same. Rather than fuss over that, I'd like you to protect people's lives as a pillar, Sanemi. That's my only wish. It was my fault for calling you here right after Masachiki died. It must be tough for you since 2 of you were close as brothers." And then he says, "That name." And then Kane says, "Shinizugawa-kun, ever since Oyakata took charge, he has remembered the names and upbringings of every single demon hunter who was passed on." And then Sanemi says, "Impossible. I can't even remember the names of all the members who died fighting alongside me," which is insane, because again, it really does seem as if they're not a pillar, you're just fucking fodder for real. Insane. And then Ubuyashiki says, "Sanemi, all the children of the demon slayer corpse write their own wills. And as for what's inside those wills, it's rather peculiar. They're all pretty much the same, and Masachika's was no different. I wanted to give this to you, Sanemi. Masachika had a dead brother that he saw in you, Sanemi." He dreamed about a bright, shining future, and that's my dream too. He wanted to let his loved one live with a smile until his life came to an end, and for nothing unnatural to threaten that person's life, even if at that moment he himself couldn't live and be next to that person. He wanted them to live. He wanted them to survive. And bro, after this backstory, we then, after getting hit in the fucking feelings, bro, we then get another panel after, again, just amongst a myriad of fucking panels that have solidified this nigga's GOAT status. This motherfucker pulled out the blick out of nowhere and he used it to parry a slash. He's parrying a slash with the blick and then he blicked that nigga in the fucking face. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, who's moving like this? Who the fuck else is moving like this? Kokushibo easily parries the attack and then Sanemi says, fuck, didn't even graze. And then he says, Breath of the Moon, third form, death of abandonment chain. After that onslaught of slashes, we then see here the appearance of, well, Gyomei shows up on the scene and he says, we the demon hunters have eternal permanence until every last demon is exterminated from this world. And then my nigga says, they just keep going. This is probably how Muzan feel. Like, you really look at these niggas like cockroaches for real. So skipping ahead a few chapters to chapter 170, we see that Gyomei and Kokushibo have been going at it essentially for some time now, and specifically skipping because we are focusing on Sanemi in this video, you feel me? And when he comes back into the battle is just about now. We get a clip of him stitching up his wounds mid-battle, like just on some real savage shit. That nigga just says, yo, stitch my shit up and we're gonna get right back into it. After he stitches up his bleeding wounds, he's coughing up blood, but he realizes a change in his body and he manifests his Demon Slayer mark. So y'all know that if you thought he was locked in before, if you thought this nigga was doing work before, you know that it's about to turn the fuck up. We see a panel of him and Gyomei and Kokushibo going at it back to back, and then all of a sudden Sanemi slides in with some Breath of Wind slashes. Kokushibo acknowledges, he says, even this man got the mark. It seems that all the pillars of this generation are marked. While he's acknowledging this, Sanemi just dodges out of the way, like he was using himself as bait, and right from behind his head, like this nigga knew that his shit was coming, and Gyomei and him are just in sync. Gyomei's ball and chain goes right for his fucking ghost, right for Kokushibo's face, and he says he dodged a ball that was flying towards him from behind. And I mean, yeah, nah, these niggas are on some 3000 IQ, on some 3000 battle IQ, bro. You feel me? And then Kokushibo says, despite these two using two different kinds of breaths and this battle moving at a fast pace, they managed to coordinate their attacks. And then we get a fire panel of him and Kokushibo locked in, and he says, good thing we did that pillar trading, huh, Himajima-san. And then Gyomei says, So boom, this is about to be a fire jumping, and that's it, man. That's gonna be the end of part 1 of this video. I did say this video is gonna be split up into 2 parts. So yeah, man, if you made it this far, if you like the video, remember to like the video, I guess. If you don't like the video, I don't know, nigga, eat my dick. Peace.
Please stop. Crazy. All of my friends are dead. Leave them in the cold, put them in the tundra. I go rape child, second I see her, I make her fumble. I was just a Texas with a leader, pussy in the jungle. They wanted this atmosphere, I'm sick, but I told them I'm coming normal. Play this shit with a white touch, a nigga like you in the form.